Just hit a button, Morty. Give me a beat.
Oh man, okay, alright,
Who should Manchester United sign? So this video will be an updated version of the players I think Manchester United should bring in. I did do a series on this back in March, but a lot has changed since then, so I thought it was worth doing another video on it. I will be doing this sort of video for other clubs as well, so comment your suggestions below, subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you get notified when my videos come out. You can also check out my Who Tottenham Should Sign video, which will be linked in the description as well. Also, if you're looking for cheap, good quality football jerseys, then go over to www.jerseyfever.com where you can get the new season's jerseys for under $30, and they even sell retro jerseys as well. A link to the website will be in the description below, and you can use the coupon code ATLANTISFOOTBALL for 5% off. So Manchester United did manage to finish in the top 4 this season and got to the Europa League semi-finals, but they still look away off a title challenge and the European elite. I'd estimate that they could spend anywhere from £100 to £120 million net, plus any money they could bring in from player sales. But before I get into the players to bring in, who should be sold? Well, United need to get rid of a lot of dead wood in the squad. These are the players who won't necessarily bring in a lot of money, but they are a financial burden, so their wage need to be gotten off the wage bill as soon as possible. Marcus Rojo and Phil Jones are the biggest examples of this and need to be pushed out the door, whether this is through a loan or being allowed to leave on a free. In terms of selling players, Eric Bailly should be sold as he's far too injury prone and could bring in around £25 million. Smalling, whilst having a good season at Roma, isn't a long term option and is now 30 and could bring in around £15 million. Diego Dalot seems completely out of favour with Solskjaer, and with Wan-Bissaka the long term right back, it may be worth selling Dalot for around £25 million. Fosu Mensah has been a squad player at best this season and could bring in around £10 million. Lingard is another one with 1 year left on his contract, so could bring in around £10 million as well. Andreas Pereira should be sent out on loan to increase his value. I'd also loan out Brandon Williams as he's currently not good enough for this United side and needs game time to develop, as does James Garner and Taif Chong, who's already gone on loan to Werder Bremen. I would also loan out Dean Henderson for another season, so I don't think he will displace De Gea and go next season, and it seems a waste to keep him on the bench when Romero is a great backup keeper. This season on loan should give Henderson another year to develop and potentially come back next year and displace De Gea as United's number 1. This means that just through player sales alone, United could raise between £90 and £100 million. But where do United need to improve? The right wing position has been a major fault in United's attacking armoury up until Mason Greenwood came into the side after the restart of the Premier League. Daniel James and Lingard are simply not good enough, whilst Juan Mata isn't really the type of right winger that United need and is also fading every season. But who should be brought in? Well, the obvious go-to answer is Jadon Sancho, who'd likely cost around £110 million. I have done a whole separate video on him, looking at his analytics and how he'd fit into the United system, so I won't analyse him in this video. You can go over and check out that video, which will be linked in the description below and in the eye above. But in short, Jadon Sancho is one of maybe around 5 players in the world who you can consider genuinely world class at a young age. At just 20, he's going to be a long term signing, and overall this just seems like a Neymar 2013 or an Mbappe 2017 situation, where the opportunity to sign this young player is too good to turn down, which is why I'd make Jadon Sancho my number 1 target in this summer's transfer window. United also need a central midfielder to play alongside Pogba in the double pivot in Solskjaer's 4-2-3-1. The player needs to be a better one-on-one defender in the middle of the park than Fred is, as he often leaves United wide open. Fred, whilst being a good pressing midfielder, lacks the ability to break up play when a player is dribbling at him. Matic has the incisive passing ability needed, but lacks the athleticism and press resistance that United need from a deep line midfielder in that position. The player I would look to bring in would be Bayern Munich's Thiago Alcantara, who with just 1 year left on his contract would cost around £30 million. Whilst Thiago is 29 years old, and this is something I would usually try to avoid if I was United, he is, in my opinion, the best central midfielder in the world, and in the deep line playmaking role we have seen the likes of Luka Modric, Andrea Pirlo and Xabi Alonso play at the top level up to the ages of 33 and 34, and I think Thiago could be the same, meaning that he isn't just a short term option. We can see how good Thiago is when we compare him to other central midfielders in Europe's top 5 leagues over the past 2 seasons, in the Bundesliga and in the Champions League. He ranked in the top 1% for passes into the final third, progressive distance, interceptions and tackles won, in the top 5% when it comes to dribbles completed and pass completion, and in the top 40% for expected assists with 0.08 per 90 minutes, which for a deep line midfielder is incredibly impressive. His stats model alone shows that Thiago is not just world class on the ball but also without it, which is key when playing in a midfield midfield too. I have done a full statistical and tactical analysis of Thiago which you can check out after this video, which will be linked in the description below. Playing next to Pogba, Thiago would be excellent at dropping deep to collect the ball off one of the centre backs, having the awareness, ball control and dribbling ability to play out of a high press, which is a massive weakness of both Fred and Matic and should enable United to progress the ball from the defensive third to the middle third a lot more efficiently. His tackling and intercepting will improve United's pressing and defensive systems, whilst his long passing and ability to play incisive passes into players between the lines is obviously going to allow United to move the ball into the final third more often, helping them break down deep compact systems. United also need a centre-back partner for Maguire, with both him and Lindelof looking shaky over the past few weeks. Maguire is more of a stopper centre-back, anticipating passes into the forward line and stepping out to intercept them, so he'd be best partnered next to a quick centre-back who can anticipate through balls and has the pace to get back and cut out these chances. The centre-back I would sign would be Ibrahima Konate from RB Leipzig, who would cost around £35 million. Konate is a 21-year-old French centre-back who is extremely quick, a great slide tackler and aerially dominant. He has been injured throughout this season, seeing him only play 681 minutes, but in the 2018-2019 season, he ranked in the top 13% of centre-backs in Europe's top 5 leagues for interceptions, with 2.21 per 90 minutes, the top 9% for aerial duels won, and in the top 20% for tackles completed. He can be a little positionally naive at times, but his pace and strength allows him to get back to the attacker and make a tackle on most occasions. On the ball, he isn't as good a long passer as his teammate Upamecano, as he only completes 71% of his long passes, ranking him in the bottom 32% for centre-backs, but he's a very good dribbler, completing 90% of his dribbles, which will allow United to progress the ball forward, with Konate dribbling out of the defensive third, which is something Lindelof isn't able to do to the same level. 35 million is a great price for a centre-back of Konate's quality, who will be able to fulfill the role next to Maguire in a high defensive line, and at just 21 he's only going to improve dramatically over the next few seasons. Well, I've also made it no secret that United do need to improve their offensive capabilities from the fullback position, with Williams, Wan-Bissaka and even Shaw showing that with a lack of offensive ability from the fullback positions, the opposition can simply congest the middle of the pitch in a compact system and force you to attack down the flanks, in order to nullify your attack. This was evident in the games against West Ham and Chelsea, so if you haven't already, watch those for a further in-depth explanation after this video. They will be linked in the description below. Despite Wan-Bissaka being a very good defensive fullback, particularly in one-on-ones, he does need to improve his ability to progress the ball forward using his dribbling and passing, as well as his end product in the final third. Whilst Brandon Williams doesn't look like a natural left back, and Shaw, whilst being injury prone, is a lot better defensively than he is going forward. The left back I would bring in to start ahead of Luke Shaw would be Pervis Estupiñán, who is currently on loan at Osasuna from Watford. Estupiñán is 22 and midway through a 2-year loan with Osasuna, which ends in 2021. However, I think United could tempt both clubs with ending this deal early, with a fee of around £20 million to sign the Ecuadorian, which is possible, as Osasuna would obviously be compensated for the deal ending early, and Watford would make a handsome profit on a player who hasn't even played a game for them yet. Estupiñán is a powerful left back who is excellent in one-on-one situations and a very good dribbler. This dribbling ability can be seen as Estupiñán has completed 1.9 dribbles per 90 minutes this season, the second most of any left back in La Liga, behind only Fernand Mendy. He also has a tackle success rate of 51%, putting him in the top 21% of all fullbacks in Europe's top 5 leagues when it comes to this stat. He'd be great at allowing United to transition the ball from the defensive third to the middle and final third with his dribbling, which is something that neither Wan-Bissaka nor Luke Shaw possess to the same level. To see a more in-depth analysis of Luke Shaw compared to Estupiñán, take a look at my analysis of the video looking at the Ecuadorian at Manchester United, which I released a few months ago, which will be linked in the description below as well. He also adds a great deal to United's attack, which supplements Wan-Bissaka's more conservative attacking style, allowing him to sit slightly deeper on the right, whilst Estupiñán takes up the attacking burden on the left. This season he has an expected assist rate of 0.11 per 90 in La Liga, putting him in the top 25% of all fullbacks in Europe's top 5 leagues, despite playing for a mid-table La Liga side in Osasuna. This creative ability comes mostly from his crossing. He's one of the best deep crossers in Europe, giving him the same kind of ability that Trent Alexander-Arnold possesses to create a chance out of nowhere with one cross into the box from a deep area. He can also put a cross in from the byline as well, which makes him a very well varied attacking wide player. In the right back position, I actually have an in-house solution, Ethan Ladd, who is currently in the under-23s. He's currently 19 years old and has the pace and dribbling ability that Wan-Bissaka lacks. Defensively, he may need time to adapt to senior football, as Brandon Williams has needed, but he seems like a player in the mould of Reece James at Chelsea and perfectly suits the role of an athletic offensive fullback, which United need, so I would use him as the understudy to Wan-Bissaka, which should allow him to develop over the next season and hopefully turn into a great fullback. So my transfer choices are Konate for 35 million, Estupinan for around 20 million, Thiago Alcantara for 30 million, and Jadon Sancho for 110 million. Plus I would promote Ethan Laird to the backup right back row with Dalot gone, which would give United a net transfer spend of around £100 million. These choices would solve United's ball progression problems at fullback, certainly on the left side, whilst also bringing in a quicker, more aerially dominant centre-back. Thiago and Jadon Sancho are also world-class additions who would take United to a completely different offensive level. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, give it a like and a share, subscribe to the channel and click the bell for notifications. Check out some of my other videos linked in the description below, and also for cheap football jerseys, click the link in the description as well and use the code ATLANTISFOOTBALL for 5% off.